Imagine a highway so expensive it could fund entire cities, so divisive it's torn communities apart, and so controversial it's been called a drug trafficking superhighway. This is Interstate 69, America's priciest road project. And it's not just a road, it's a battleground of dreams, dollars, and destruction. Buckle up, because we're diving into why I-69 is sparking outrage across the nation. Stretching from Canada to Mexico, the I-69 megacorridor is a 2,000-mile vision of economic promise. But at a cost of over $80 billion and counting, it's the most expensive highway project in U.S. history. Why is it so costly? Why are people fighting it? And what does it mean for America's future? Let's hit the road and find out. The story of I-69 begins with a grand vision. In the 1950s, President Dwight D. Eisenhower launched the Interstate Highway System, a network that transformed America by connecting cities and fueling economic growth. By the late 1990s, lawmakers dreamed even bigger. A superhighway linking Canada, the U.S., and Mexico under NAFTA to boost trade and jobs. Enter I-69, a corridor to rival the world's greatest highways, stretching from Port Huron, Michigan to Brownsville, Texas. The plan was bold, a seamless trade route for goods, slicing through America's heartland. Supporters promised thousands of jobs, revitalized rural towns, and a stronger North American economy. But grand visions come with steep costs and even steeper consequences. Why does I-69 cost so much? Let's break it down. Spanning over 2,000 miles, the corridor demands new roads, bridges, and interchanges across diverse landscapes, swamps, forests, and urban centers. In Indiana, a 142-mile stretch cost $4 billion, with sectors like Bloomington to Martinsville running years behind schedule and costing millions per mile. Land acquisition eats up a huge chunk. To build I-69, the government seized thousands of acres through eminent domain, displacing farmers, homeowners, and businesses. Add to that the engineering challenges, bridges over rivers like the Ohio and Mississippi, plus environmental protections for endangered species and wetlands. Every mile is a money pit. Families who farmed for generations have lost their land, often for far less than it's worth. Communities are split, literally and figuratively, by concrete barriers. The financial toll is staggering, but so is the human cost, fueling protests and lawsuits across the corridor. From Indiana to Texas, residents have fought back, arguing the price, both in dollars and lives, is too high. Yet, supporters insist the payoff will be worth it. But will it? I-69's backers paint it as an investment in America's future. Ports like Houston and Memphis could gain billions in trade revenue. Rural towns along the route might see new factories, warehouses, and jobs. In Michigan, where parts of I-69 are complete, logistics-related jobs have increased by 20% in some areas since construction began. But the reality often falls short. Many towns along I-69 have seen little economic boost. Businesses expected to flood in haven't materialized, and traffic counts on some sections are far below projections. Critics argue the highway mainly benefits big corporations and distant ports, leaving local communities with empty promises. The economic models banked on a trade boom that hasn't fully arrived. Meanwhile, small towns grapple with disrupted landscapes and fractured communities. Is I-69 a lifeline for rural America, or a highway to nowhere? Beyond costs and broken promises, I-69 has a darker side. Critics call it a drug trafficking superhighway. Its direct route from Mexico to Canada makes it a potential pipeline for illegal activity. Law enforcement has reported increased drug seizures along completed sections, raising fears that I-69 could worsen America's opioid crisis. A straight shot from the border to major cities is a smuggler's dream. Meth and fentanyl seizures have spiked along I-69's corridors. While the highway itself isn't to blame, its design makes it a convenient route for crime, a side effect few saw coming. For many, this is the breaking point. Environmental destruction, displaced families, and now crime? Opposition has grown fiercer, with lawsuits and protests stalling construction in states like Texas and Arkansas. Yet, the project pushes forward, driven by federal dollars and political will. Then there's the environment. I-69 slices through some of America's most biodiverse regions, wetlands, forests, and habitats for endangered species like the Indiana bat and Louisiana black bear. The destruction is immense, and environmentalists argue the highway's benefits don't justify the cost. Wetlands that filter water, forests that store carbon, these ecosystems can't be replaced with mitigation funds. The Federal Highway Administration claims it's offsetting the damage with restoration projects, but critics call it a drop in the bucket. The environmental fight has become a rallying cry, adding fuel to I-69's controversy. For many, I-69 is a step backward in the fight against climate change, trading irreplaceable nature for asphalt. The question looms, is progress worth this price? I-69 isn't just a highway. It's a mirror of America's divides. On one side, supporters see progress, jobs, and global competitiveness. On the other hand, opponents see greed, destruction, and disregard for rural life. Both sides have compelling arguments, but no one agrees on the way forward. The human toll is undeniable. Families displaced by eminent domain, communities split by concrete, and trust eroded by unfulfilled promises. Yet, for every story of loss, there's one of hope. A new job, a faster commute, a town revived. I-69 embodies the tension between sacrifice and opportunity, leaving America at a crossroads. As of 2025, I-69 is far from finished. Sections in Texas and Arkansas remain under construction, with completion dates stretching into the 2030s. The price tag keeps climbing, and so does the controversy. Will I-69 deliver its promised economic transformation, or will it be remembered as a costly misstep? America's most expensive highway is more than asphalt and concrete. It's a story of dreams, sacrifices, and the price we pay for progress. What do you think? Does I-69 pave the way to a brighter future? Or is it a road to nowhere? Share your thoughts, and let's keep the conversation rolling.